Untitled Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth, it's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Welcome to the DJ the Money Coach Financial Expert Series, brought to you by the 7 Spheres of Money. Thank you for joining us. We have another amazing guest, and not only an amazing guest, but a member of our team, the DJ the Money Coach team, here with us today. And not just a member of the team and an amazing guest, but an amazing woman here for Women's History Month, the month of March. So I'll give it over to DJ so we can jump right in and he can go ahead and introduce her.
Oh yeah, man, this is exciting, man. This is a super success story and a supernova. So we're extremely excited to bring our next guest on the Financial Expert Series with DJ the Money Coach, because this young lady embodies all the characteristics that we hold in the highest regard. You know, integrity, principle, discipline. She's a great investor. She's pretty much does everything right and has bold, audacious, hairy goals, and that's the only way you can become a successful entrepreneur. And she's a Renaissance woman as well. And another great thing about it, she's another candidate has come through our program and is excelling through the program so much so that she actually became one of our partners in the 7 Spheres of Money and takes care of all our technology things, man, because I don't know where we'd be without this person. She actually is the developer and designer of our website as well. So with that said, I mean, you guys know my story. I don't need to recap that, but we also want to let you guys know we got a new corporate sponsor. That's Toledo. It is the premium, and I'm gonna tell you, premium tequila in the world. It's an organic tequila. It's smooth, it's crisp, it's light. And you know what, Nick? I'm sorry, but I had to crack mine open yesterday. Because my partner Courtney was over here, man, helping me out with some stuff, and we just had to celebrate, man. And you talking about smooth, no aftertaste. I'm telling you, man, I was thoroughly impressed that we almost drank the whole bottle. But another great thing about Toledo, all jokes aside, it's a completely Black-owned company, from the land to the distribution to the C-suite, completely Black-owned by two incredible brothers. One is Ben Carter and one is Coda Subtle. And we are excited to have them as our premier sponsor. And we only have the best of the best, so you can equate, DJ the Money Coach and the 7 Spheres of Money team. We are the Amazon of financial education. So with that said, let me introduce this amazing young lady and tell you a little bit about her. Her name, number one, is Renee Bishop. She's an IT consultant, project manager, and she's the owner of this amazing company called DEFY SciTech. And she is incredible in terms of what she's accomplished in the short time on this planet. She's another one of these awesome millennials. And she's also a mom of 3. And it's amazing how great she looks. And she just had 2 beautiful twins. It seemed like it was yesterday. And she already, out here rocking and rolling, getting the job done. That's what I'm talking about. These new millennials who just keep moving, keep me motivated. So, she's done a lot. She's a minority woman enterprise business owner as well. She's done some incredible things in the technology world. So I'm amazed that she's got so much done in a short period of time, but at the same time, I'm not, because she's had some great goals and she's had a great inspiration from her own mom. So without further ado, I want to introduce Renee Bishop. And welcome to the platform, Renee. How you doing today? And thank you for coming on National Women's History Month, so they don't think that we're biased and only have men.
Thanks, DJ. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. There's actually 4, not 3 kids.
Oh, That's right. That's right. You had twins. I keep forgetting you had two. So you caught up with me.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh man, that's awesome. So what we like to do here on the Financial Experts interview series, Renee, is actually start with your backstory. Tell us a little bit, about who Renee Bishop was when she was, a teenager, and what gave her the inspiration to actually get to where she is today.
Sure. So, teenager wise, I born and raised in Brooklyn. Around the time that I was a teenager, I wanted to be a chef. I had a lot of different goals in mind, but at the time I wanted to be a chef. And somehow, some way, I was led into wanting to be a writer, journalist. So I ended up going to a vocational high school where I majored in journalism. And as I went along high school, I got more and more into electronics because of my mom. She was really into that type of stuff, and she also wanted to be like a mechanical engineer. So I think subconsciously that kind of led me into IT. But at the time, I majored in journalism. By the time I applied to college, I was of the mindset that I wanted to develop my own video game system because I just was interested the way video games evolved as far as the graphics and the user interface, all those different type of stuff. So I wanted to create my own video game system. Um, so I applied to Penn State, which was one of the top engineering schools at the time. And while I was there, I probably switched my major about 3 times or so. I went from computer science to computer engineering just because of I guess I felt like I wasn't really prepared or interested at the time, like in just programming. I didn't want to just be in front of a computer doing that or just building a system. I wanted to do more than that. I was always of the entrepreneurial mindset. So I explored different majors in Penn State. Aside from computer science and computer engineering, I explored industrial engineering, which is kind of similar to the major that I eventually went into, which was IT. Except it was a little bit more evolved to me, where it was a mixture between technology and business. So when I got into IT, my focus was on systems integration, where you basically look at a business, their infrastructure. They may need to integrate like a database with a new user interface or something to that nature. So I got into IT, and by the time I graduated, I was researching and looking at the top consulting companies because I wanted to model my future business after those like the big threes of the world, like Accenture or KPMG, those type of businesses. So once I graduated from college, I at the time wanted to work at an Accenture or Deloitte. However, as the universe would have it, I was led into working for financial company, and it definitely helped me with learning the ropes of corporate America. And it was also around the time of like the economic downturn. So all those different things that I feel like created like some type of a foundational knowledge for me. Apart from the financial industry, I also worked in healthcare for Johns Hopkins. I worked for also the government, like the Veteran Affairs, EPA, the Social Security Administration. So just working in those different types of fields, I feel like IT, it showed me how important it could be. Like, and it could you can go anywhere in the world with it. So eventually I got a job where it was like completely remote. It's my current job right now. And that was before the pandemic. So that definitely put a battery in my back for me to start my own IT consulting company on the side, since I didn't have to worry about a commute and I was able to spend more time with my kids. So that's I feel like that's what kind of led me to IT, the flexibility, the fact that it can be in any type of field. You can help people who have an idea and conceptualize it, try to bring it into fruition. And yeah, and also obviously helping bridge the digital divide, because I know from my experience going into college, I feel like I was intimidated by programming because I didn't get that in high school or elementary school, whereas my peers in school, they already had that foundation. So I would like to help inner city kids with learning programming and learning other facets of IT, because I know most non-technical people may assume that IT is either you being geek squad where you're, helping to repair a computer, build a computer, or you're programming something. But there's so much more to it than that. You can be a project manager, where you're helping to, like I said, bring a concept to reality, and so much other facets.
We'll be right back with the DJTMC Financial Expert Series after this message. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm DJ the Money Coach. Don't touch that dial. You want to become financially independent? You want to have consumer debt freedom? You want to have passive income, learn how to build a business, acquire real estate, and achieve the lifestyle you deserve in 2021? Well, hit that link below right now. We've worked with over 20,000 people in the past 2 decades, helping them become consumer debt free, increase their credit scores by 30 to 60 points in 30 days or less, and help them acquire businesses through real estate, taxes, and a network of experts just like me. So you'll get a complete 3-hour, 18-module course called Family Finance 101 that'll teach you A to Z how to become consumer debt free, credit worthy, and it put you in position to become a certified entrepreneur. We'll also give you a complimentary consultation with me that's a $500 value. Why would you want to do that? Because I have already achieved that, and I can help you achieve your American dream in 2021. Hit the link below, get the free webinar and the complimentary consultation, and I'll see you soon and wish you a pom-pom lifestyle that's plenty of money and peace of mind. Come join us. One of the first things that come to my mind, Renee, is that these are generally male-dominated fields that you are in. And how did you deal with that? And then on top of it being male-dominated fields, there really aren't any Black people in these fields. So you had 2 major barriers to entry. And how did you handle that? And who helped you navigate through that process while you were, endeavoring down that road?
Good question. So I feel like going to Penn State, which was obviously predominantly white.
Yeah, and that's a huge school. I mean,
Yeah.
what was the normal attendance of Penn State? Is there like 40, 50,000 people, something like that?
It depends, because they have 23 campuses throughout Pennsylvania. So like the main campus, I would say that's probably the accurate number as far as the population goes. And you feel like a dot on a piece of paper, literally, especially when it comes to your major. So usually when you see someone of your skin color, you kind of gravitate toward them. And that's basically what happened for me when I saw, I think it was about 3 of us that was in my IT graduating class. And
wow. 3 out of how many?
Yeah, I mean, there were Asians too, but you gravitate toward
3 in your graduation class, 3 Black people.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah, like
that's
we
crazy.
gravitated toward each other, and I feel like that kind of helped me as well. And as far as like what helped me as far as it being male dominated, I don't think I really cared that much as far as the skin color part. The male dominated part, I feel like going through life, a lot of things that I liked, you know, it was different anyway. So I was kind of used to being different. I know that in wanting to be a Renaissance woman, you only hear men saying they want to be a Renaissance man anyway. So
Right.
I
Right.
always liked that idea of you know, being good at a lot of different things. Obviously you run into the trap being what do they call it, a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. But I feel like if you can be well-rounded and balanced, depending on your area of interest. So as far as it being male dominated, I figured it would be, that was to be expected, especially since I know like liberal arts is probably more the speed of where you'll see a lot of females anyway. If you go somewhere outside of that, it's a possibility it'll be male dominated anyway.
Mm.
So like if I went to major in kinesiology, there'd be a possibility that that would be male dominated anyway. So the only thing that really that I had to get used to was feeling like you're a dot on a piece of paper, literally. So I feel like Penn State helped me, and then also my first job helped me. I worked at Citigroup, and I was a part of a technology leadership program, which was a 3-year rotational program where every 6 months we would, or I think it was 6 to 8 months, we would rotate throughout the different lines of businesses
Oh,
within
wow.
Citigroup. So that definitely, I feel like that definitely helped prepare me for corporate America altogether. And it was also during the economic downturn. So it was definitely a training experience, to say the least.
So thinking about that, did you have the opportunity to intern while you were in school, or did you just go right in? Because when the economic downturn, a lot of people were having a hard time getting
Yeah.
jobs. So what gave you the advantage? Because I know when I met you, unlike most professionals I meet at your age, you didn't have hardly any debt like a lot of these young people have coming out of college. So how did you get from in college to that first job? Was there an internship that bridged that, or just you were a great networker? How did you navigate that?
Sure. So I originally had an internship with Merrill Lynch, but I did something like, as far as it didn't go through all the way. So like my mother ended up helping me find one internship, and I found another one. So I basically had two internships. The one with Merrill Lynch was paid, but since I messed up that whole experience, I ended up having to get another internship because it was a graduation requirement anyway.
Oh,
So I ended up getting two internships. That was non-paid. But I feel like that helped me mature, and it helped me with I guess my pride, as far as like getting the Merrill Lynch one. It felt too easy, just because it you know, I was a minority, I was in IT. I feel like they kind of checked the box there, and
oh,
I
so
was a
you felt
paid
like you were
student.
kind of like the token person.
Yeah, I think I took that for granted.
Mm, mm.
Absolutely.
Let,
So
let's put pause for a quick minute, because a lot of times in America, these other people, they
yeah,
frown on that, and not realizing that affirmative action programs, the people that actually get into those programs actually more qualified than their peers 9 out of 10 times. That's been my
yeah,
experience on my half a century on this planet. So
right.
it's interesting that you said that you took it for granted
Hmm.
because it happened so easy, when here I'm gonna think that, man, maybe we should just have been grateful, even though you're a very humble person. But we all when we're young, we have a little gravitas and stuff like that. So
Right.
most people would kick down the doors to have opportunity. So why did you look at it the completely opposite way? And then, like you said, I appreciate your honesty that you kind of messed up, because we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
But why did you take it for granted?
Well, I think I was still of that insecure mindset of being a dot on a piece of paper, where I wasn't sure. I guess I wasn't aware of my worth, like as far as working amongst my peers and trying to feel like you equate to what they're doing as well. So I think that's why I may have taken it for granted, and I felt subconscious because I'm like, well, where's the rest of us? Type of thing. So once that fell through and I was able to get 2 internships, it wasn't paid, but it still taught me a lot. Like the first one was for a nonprofit organization called Hearts and Minds in Harlem, where I learned like on the job skills, hands-on, learning to be a network admin assistant. And then the second one was more so like an IT consultant, kind of a job down on Wall Street, helping a small business owner with whatever he needed as far as IT, whether it be web development or, documentation and things of that nature. So it felt like it was more grassroots rather than corporate America. And in retrospect, that kind of felt like it was more my speed anyway, because I knew ultimately I wasn't going to be in corporate America my whole career. I was like, I want to create my own business. I don't want to retire at 65, all those different things that, society indoctrinates you with. I didn't want to subscribe to. So it was kind of, in retrospect, I feel like that made sense for me to.
Yeah, because that's a outdated model, number one.
Right. Exactly.
Number two, that ain't how God engineered us anyway. God engineered us all to be our own agents, our own architects. And here's the thing I'm excited about technology and that we are moved forward. Here's the benefits of technology is that a lot of people are starting to understand that the internet actually gives them back their whole total autonomy. And that scares corporate America, because if you think about this, if I don't need to have services and I can provide them for myself, what do I need any corporate entity at all?
Exactly.
I mean, think about it. That's a novel concept, but it's a profound concept, because why do I need a bank if I can be my own bank? Why do I need AT&T if I can be my own telecommunications? Because I can get this stuff done on the internet. So with that said, what were the external pressures from the male-dominated field, the predominantly white field, that were pressed upon you that could even been subtle, even as a woman, that you had to deal with? And how do you navigate that? Because I think the message we want to convey here is to young Black girls. Yeah. Specifically, you should be excited about getting into this field, and you shouldn't be worried, because it's not a mystery. I mean, it's just like you said, it's no different going this field than it is going liberal arts. But we don't have that many going. And I'm a big proponent for STEM programs. So talk to me about those external pressures, the subtle parts, and how you navigate it. Twice. Not only have to navigate it as a woman, but you have to navigate it as a Black woman in a predominantly male-dominated world, and a predominantly white male-dominated world.
Oh yeah, like being in corporate America and being Black and a woman, you have to kind of wear different masks, like as far as like not being overly emotional, not speaking how you usually talk with colloquialisms. You have to kind of be proper and things of that nature. So you definitely have to be very calculated with what you say, how you say things, not react to certain things. And it's that, in that sense, it can be challenging at times, like maybe your first 3 years in corporate America, that was kind of tough. But eventually I feel like you start to navigate the system, especially when you go through different lines of businesses and you learn that, each business may have its own ecosystem, or, you just learn about the different dynamics there. It kind of helps you out. And then as far as like the pressures go, it being male dominated, or you know, you being maybe the only Black or the third Black or whatever, you have to work extra harder, so that, you know, you feel like, you know, your worth, your own worth. You're running your own race. You're not comparing yourself to the other person. Because ultimately I learned that even people with the most advanced degrees or letters behind their name, sometimes they don't know anything.
Mm.
It might be nepotism, it might be just because of the way they look that they're there.
Mm.
Or they might just be outdated as far as their mindset. So, you know, you have to run your own race. I had to learn that a lot, because I would be on LinkedIn sometimes and looking at you know, my peers or people I work with, and, you know, comparing myself. But we have different experiences, and everybody has something to bring to the table. So that's what I learned. And then once you kind of have formulate your own goals, and you know, you plan, do, check, adjust those goals, I feel like you're not even like hearing all of the judgments, or you're not comparing yourself to others. You're standing out and being your own person.
So what was your support system in that process? Because I mean, just going to a big school in general, I partied out my first big school, because one thing, it wasn't because of lack of intelligence. What it was is that, like you said, I'm sitting in these huge auditoriums with 300-400 people taking a class, and was used to, you know, that one-on-one, relationship with the instructor or the professor, and I was like, man, I'm not feeling this. So, you know, so I, partied my way out of school, and then I went to a different school, was more smaller, more interaction with the professor. They knew my name, and
Right.
that made me adjust and get more excited about finishing my degree. So I didn't have a support system
Right.
in the first school, and I had a better support system in the second school. So what was your support system for you? And I think it's important for young women in
Right.
general to know that you can have a support system and where to look.
Well, I would say my support system going to a big school outside of the state that I'm from, you gravitate toward what you're used to. So for some reason, it was a bunch of New Yorkers that I gravitated towards. Most of them women, some of them men as well. A lot of us first generation American as well. Our parents from a different country. So I think we related on that a lot. A lot of us from, you know, having different majors, but we still like, I feel like we were each other's support system, especially once we went to the bigger campus. Because once I went to the bigger campus, and I, you know, moved around with different majors, because it was very intimidating, like you said, being in a big auditorium. You feel like most of your peers are already prepared, like as far as they already know programming, or the teachers or the teacher's assistant, there might be a language gap, because a lot of my teachers at the time for like calculus or advanced calculus or whatever engineering class, they would be Asian. So they had like that thick accent. So
That's what I was gonna say. They probably had a real huge thick accent.
yeah, so it would be like a huge language barrier. I was very frustrated, but I kept pressing the course and looking for a major that I knew that I liked, like as far as IT goes, because I didn't even really know. It was called Information Sciences and Technology, which I had no idea what that was. And the more I read about it and met with the counselor, I liked it. So I took a chance, and I got into that major. And once I learned about like what they call problem-based learning, that was what the curriculum was how it was structured, as opposed to, you know, test taking and looking at people's grades. It was totally different from what I was indoctrinated to. It made perfect sense. I was just like, why isn't school like this, period, where, you know, they give you a real world problem, and you may work on it by yourself, or you may work on it as a team. but it made so much sense. So I feel like my friends were definitely my support system. And then once I actually found the major that I wanted to be in, those teachers also they were different from the other teachers that I dealt with in other majors. I don't know if it's because IT was still fairly new. And so like the mindsets were a little more futuristic rather than, you know, old times, if that
Right,
makes sense.
more advanced, more
Exactly.
futurist looking. So in school, if I'm a young girl in high school, or even matter of fact in elementary school, because I have two daughters. I have a daughter 8 and a daughter 11, and they have participated in STEM programs. Actually, my youngest daughter is going to participate for the first time in a summer program. But my oldest daughter, she's been going to these STEM programs every year for a whole month, right after regular schools, ends. So to get her involved in aviation, robotics,
Wow.
all that good stuff to keep, because she's very creative. So what classes in elementary school and high school would you encourage the parents to make their kids take, regardless if they want to or not? Kind of like, you got to have a certain amount of credits of math, certain amount of credits of English. What classes would you recommend from your perspective that they have to take, regardless? Because I make my kids take courses because they're going to have an engineering background, regardless if they like it or not. They can do something else, but they're going to have an engineering background. Because when I realized the importance of being an engineer problem solver, I was like, damn, I wish somebody would have told me that, when I was coming up and I was excited about math.
Right. I'd say math, of course. Like I feel like early on we should, in inner cities especially, we should teach our kids calculus, as crazy as it sounds, because that's like a lot of the engineering classes that's like the prerequisites. I feel like that's important if someone's gonna go the engineering route. I think that there should also be newer classes that's instituted in school itself as well, like robotics or like AI, like, or machine learning, and like some type of programming, even if it's something foundational like HTML, which is like the basics of all websites anyway. I feel like some type of entrepreneurial class where you teach a kid the basics of trying to start a business, like from setting up the EIN or registering the business, things of that nature. I feel like what else? I think science is very important, like chemistry, physics. I don't think it gets talked about enough. You don't learn that until really high school. At least I didn't.
Yeah, I know. I didn't shoot.
Right.
Sophomore, junior year.
Right, exactly. So I feel like that's important. I can't even remember what type of science you learn in elementary. It might be very basic as far as like living environment or something
life science.
To that, yeah, exactly. Something to that nature. Right.
Or crap that you don't have no use in the real world unless you just have an affinity for those curriculums.
Exactly. So
time.
Yeah. But I feel like technology definitely, if you teach them the basics of programming, they won't be so intimidated. Maybe finances, like in terms of math, learning to manage a checkbook, or like if you're doing an entrepreneurial class, learn about profit and loss and asset allocation and things of that nature, but teach it simplistically, or have it where it can relate to their everyday lives instead of some type of a textbook approach, like problem-based learning, basically. So give them a real world problem and have them solve it. So I think that STEM is definitely important in that sense. I would also say creative writing, because even though I didn't go the journalistic route, I still feel like I apply it to technology, because when I'm doing documentation and things of that nature, I still have to creatively, kind of conceptualize something, and obviously learning the foundation of grammar and things of that nature is a lost art, because everybody.
Yeah, I mean that's significant with marketing. especially the social
Right.
media. The people who actually know how to market the best are some of the best writers. And
Right.
that's a tremendous asset that, like you said, we don't get. And I think in the inner cities, it's almost, well, I ain't even gonna say almost, it's purposely that they don't teach our children these things, because they know that we can get exposed to anything and we're gonna dominate.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just facts.
We'll be right back with the DJTMC Financial Expert Series after this message. Stay tuned.
Hello, I'm a program manager. In December of 2020, I was listening to the Dr. Willie Jolly show. His topic was debt management and his guest was DJ. During the interview, they talked about how DJ and his team has helped families generate wealth. I knew I wanted to know more about it, and I wanted my family members to be aware of it. I immediately set up a consultation with DJ. Since that time, the DJTMC team, has created a financial plan for me, created a policy wherein I can create wealth for my great-granddaughter, who's 7 years old now. And because I didn't have these documents in place, I'm getting assistance with my will, power of attorney, and all of the documents that you would need to ensure that your policy, that your estate will be executed as you desire it to be done. I strongly recommend the DJTMC team. I found them to be extremely courteous and helpful and knowledgeable, and I can talk to them about any of my monetary needs or concerns. Check out the DJTMC team.
Let the people know how great incomes that you can earn in these industries. Give them a ballpark of entry to where you are. We don't need to know exactly what you make, but we know you do very well. So I think one of the things that parents and children want to know, they want their kids to have a great life, but they want to make sure they're in the right industry that can provide a great life. And you obviously are in one. So what are the entry points when you first come out of college? And what are the mid ones when you become a pro like you that you can expect to earn, which are better than most industries that most people don't even know about? Right.
So to put it in perspective, my mom was an RN. She had her master's in being a registered nurse. And at the time, it was, let's say, 2008. And she was obviously well in her career, and I was just starting. She was at the time making, let's say, $65,000. That's how much I started out the gate without a master's.
Whoa, hold up. So you came right out of college and was making the same amount of income that your mother was making. She probably been in her field 20 years.
Correct.
Because my mom was a retired registered nurse.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, so that put things in perspective for me. And I knew I didn't have to go to grad school for that. Like, obviously, when you get further in IT, you might get some advanced certifications like I have with project management or so. But I knew I didn't need to go to graduation and have a whole nother bill, over my head.
Wow.
So that definitely put things in perspective for me. And then once I was done with the technology leadership program, and that was a 2-year program, so it was kind of like maybe a master's program or some type of a co-op. After that, I was making about 78 when I was done with that. And
and now you're a 6-figure earner, which is,
and
you're still young. If I'm not mistaken, you're under 35, if I'm not mistaken.
I am 35.
Oh, okay. I keep getting your age, but I mean, you're young. I mean, you look younger than 30 anyway.
Appreciate it.
That's awesome. I mean, so that's phenomenal. So talk about the fact how the pandemic, that you were ahead of the curve with remote jobs, which I started doing remote gigs, be a lot before, because I'm like, why do I need to be in a freaking office when I can do this at home with technology? Because you just want to be watching.
Right.
Especially when I was Black and I was the only one at the gig when I worked with somebody so long ago. But I remember when I was the president of what's called Marion Schoenfeld, a technology accounting firm. And I was actually the president of the technology division. Had no technology background, but I was a great salesman.
Right.
But the job paid at the time, it was like $125,000. And I was the only black person there, and it was a small niche firm. And these white dudes, they were like, first, man, we'll let you, work from home twice a week. And then it was all of a sudden, hey man, I need you to be here all the time. Why? I'm getting the job done. But the fact was, I didn't look like them. And they thought I was going to steal something or I was going to mess up with something when I was better than everybody they had at the gig. And I was the president of the division. So I always found that funny. I was like, man, I can't do this. I mean, you just tell me what I need to do. If I get it done, great. If I don't, let me go. So tell me how that transition before you were doing the remote, which is what everybody's going to be doing sooner or later, because the pandemic has showed you the new norm, which was already on the horizon, but it's here now. It ain't going nowhere. So talk to us about that, and then we want to start talking about the passion projects and stuff that you excited about right now today.
Sure. So early on, since I first started corporate America, I was totally against the whole concept of being in a cubicle and always being under artificial light, not being able to go outside. It just felt crazy to me. So I was already of that mindset that the jobs that I get, they should have flexibility for you to be able to work from home if you need to. So most of the jobs that I would get, they would at least allow you to work from home, like you said, once or twice out of the week or so. But most recently, the job that I have now, it was completely remote, which was so different for me. And I don't want to go back to that mindset of having
because everything you do is on a computer. You don't need any infrastructure from a corporation building in any capacity.
Yeah, the only thing is self-discipline. You have to have self-discipline to be able to get up on your own, like college, basically. Get up on your own, you make your own schedule in that sense. Being able to commit to deadlines, finishing the deadlines, that type of stuff. And then also what's challenging is making sure you don't take your work home, even though you're home. So you got to know when to switch gears and focus on your family, or go outside and get some sunlight, go for a walk, because it's a very sedentary job. So you have to be able to balance that part out. Absolutely. But yeah, once I got this job, it's definitely helped me in that sense, as far as being cognizant of the sense that office hours is from 9 to 5. Once 5 o'clock hits, you should, tend to your family, tend to yourself. Don't neglect your health. If you're trying to finish something and you skip a meal, you should, be on top of that just as much as you're on top of your own work.
Oh man, I get it. So now that we're in the pandemic, and now you've created these amazing, companies that you have. Talk to us about your company, and talk to us about your passion for STEM, because you got amazing passion for STEM. You actually created a foundation for kids, and then talk about the navigation to getting that minority woman enterprise certification, which is huge for somebody like you, because it's gonna open up so many doors, and you're gonna make a ton of money. So talk to us about that, because these people need to hear that to understand how that works. And again, it ain't nothing special. It's great that you accomplished it, but we need to share with all of our kids to let them know these are regular avenues that are available for them.
Right. Well, thanks to you, you helped me get that minority women's certification.
Wait, you mean we helped you out?
Yeah, absolutely.
wait, because a lot of times people think that if you ain't new on the scene and you ain't flashy and everything, you don't know nothing. We actually helped you out. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was last year, during the pandemic, I was having second thoughts, okay, or the government basically shut down, so is it even worth continuing that? But you kept pushing me to get it, and I can't thank you enough for doing that. And the process was faster than then I guess most times because of the pandemic, I guess most people had that same mindset. Like
they quit. They were like, ah, and I was like,
right,
no, Renee, even more. Get the
right,
job done.
right, absolutely. And like DeFi SciTech, that the way I envision my business is like there would be a for-profit arm and a non-profit arm. So like DeFi SciTech is more so geared toward like business owners or the government, you know, helping them with whatever IT needs that they have. And then the nonprofit arm would more so be, it's called DeFi Movement, which is, you know, the theme of DeFi standing for defining excellence for yourself. So DeFi Movement would have different initiatives, STEM being one of them, where we would go into inner cities and you know, kind of have different programs for the kids to help basically prepare them for, you know, these upcoming the economy, basically this new economy, such as programming and you know, business writing, I guess cybersecurity, machine learning, things of that nature, but try to, you know, simplify it and kind of make it their pace, where it's like problem-based learning, give them a real world problem, and, you know, they can solve it as a team. Because in reality, that's what corporate America was like. That's what IT consultants like, where you're normally collaborating in the team. And apart from those type of initiatives with the DeFi movement, I also want to get into like a food program, like where we you know, a lot of cities have food deserts, so kind of having like herbal gardens and food, you know, teaching kids about food or teaching people about health and wellness. So having you know, different gardens throughout the city where people can, you know, kind of institute more fruits and vegetables in their diet, rather than fast food and stuff that we're used to seeing, because you usually see a McDonald's or a Burger King in most inner cities, rather than them promoting health and wealth and things of that nature.
Oh man, yeah, that's true. So we're living in Minority Report right now.
Right.
So the movie Minority Report, even I Am Legend, you know, that Will Smith played in, and even Enemy of the State. So with that said, how important is the STEM program to our children to understand that AI is not the future, it's the present, and machine learning is not the future, it's the present. That is, and it's not an option not to know this stuff.
Right.
And I think with the big words, it becomes mystified. They think it's complicated, and you're out there demystifying this stuff. So how important is that from your STEM program to get that in front of, you know, like you said, inner city kids, so that they can embrace, because everything that you're doing nowadays is all done by a smartphone, because these are more power in them than the big old computers back in the day that would be in banks and stuff. So how important is that, and how important is to make it real easy for them to understand? And what are you excited about as a Black business owner who's certified? And what's the future, and how much money do you anticipate yourself making in the future because of the opportunities that you knocked down while other people weren't even thinking about it, especially in the pandemic?
Oh, yeah, I think that like using your phone, like children don't even realize how advanced they are in using it, but they don't understand like maybe the repercussions of them using it. Because like you said, it's powerful. It could be a double-edged sword in that sense. When it comes to data mining, like we are all being data mined as we speak. So just teaching kids that, and I'm sure they're probably aware of it, they just don't understand the repercussions of it, and how, you know, sometime in the future it might come in and bite them. Like whatever you put on Facebook, years later, if you're going for a job or trying to run for office, that might bite you and you know, be detrimental to what you want to do. And also as far as, you know, if they use whatever type of social media or whatever type of maybe gaming, that all those different things are connected. Like you're an avatar and they already have a digital profile of you. I feel like if you teach kids in some kind of relate to them, like they do gaming, they do social media, all those different activities, you can kind of appeal to what they're doing and kind of frame it in the sense of like a STEM program. So that's where problem-based learning comes into play, where you give them some type of real world problem that applies to them. And I feel like that would intrigue them a little bit more rather than whatever textbook real world problem that you give them. So like I feel like the STEM program that I would design, I would definitely try to relate to it on their level, like from a inner city kid perspective rather than a suburban kid perspective, if that makes sense.
That's usually the major divide, is that these kids in the suburbs are already getting access to this information.
Exactly.
So one of the things I have my children do is I have them play with Legos. I have them do Roblox, Minecraft, because they're actually having fun, but they don't realize they're learning a major skill set that can make them any kind of money they want because of the technology they're used to, and like you said, comfortable, being involved with. What was one of the things that you benefited from in this changed economy from being in your current position when the pandemic hit? How did that give you a advantage over the people who didn't have the same scenario that you were based in?
I would say, given that is IT, off the back, you can work anywhere in the world. So I was already of that mindset, but I feel like it prepared me more for being an investor, really, because with the pandemic, I feel like everybody started to kind of develop their own hustle, and it was advantageous for DeFi SciTech because people needed help with their website or their database or things of that nature. And then also people started wanting to get financially educated more. So that's where you came in as well. So I feel like being a part of your team, that's helped show me how the pandemic has definitely instilled that type of a mindset where people wanted to invest in the stock market, or they wanted to invest in real estate, crypto, Forex, things of that nature. So I feel like this whole new economy is definitely I felt like I was already prepared for it, but I'm still trying to, I guess, continue to be ahead of the curve, if that makes sense.
We'll be right back with the DJTMC Financial Expert Series after this message. Stay tuned.
I created STEAM, STEAM. It's science, technology, engineering, access, and mentorship. And people might say, well, what happened to the math? Well, to me, it's self-explanatory. If you're going to be an engineer, you got to be good at math in some capacity. How does that translate when you go in these boardrooms with these Fortune 500 companies who just want to take money out of our community? How do you get them to, humanize our experiences and actually give us the value without us having to be validated through their lens? People don't understand, when you start out in business, you got to pay your team first before you pay yourself. I'm going to say this. You got to pay your team first before you pay yourself, because you invested in a system. I'm excited about meeting you guys because I think you're stumbling on something that's going to actually dissolve that system and actually make you as the number one player in the industry. Can you talk to that a little bit?
You know what I can say? I can say that I have chills, right now at 4:19 Central Time, Thursday, March 4th, 2021 in Austin, Texas, hearing you say that. And I actually want to refer back to this clip whenever it is that we, do achieve some milestone like $100 million of gross written premium.
The DJTMC Financial Expert Series is the #1 show featuring the hottest business professionals and entrepreneurs, from the seasoned vets to the rising stars. Email Nick at djthemoneycoach.com if you have what it takes to be featured among these elite financial experts. Now back to the program.
A lot of times I hear blacks say, hey man, these programs are expensive. Are there certifications and are there free trainings that these major companies offer, like Oracle and things of that nature, that they can search and actually get into these programs free to get entry that can prevent them from taking on a massive amount of student loan debt?
Right. Well, when you're working for a large company, they do offer, like, they have learning management systems where you can go online and learn whatever you might be interested in. Some may call for you being in a classroom, so they may reimburse you for whatever upfront money that you do. Because I think 3 or 4 certifications, so I've been reimbursed for investing in myself. And even if they don't, you can always write that off in your taxes because you're investing in yourself. So if you think with that kind of big picture mindset, it won't be as bad. Google also has some online training program as well, where you can go online and learn some different skill sets that center around technology. There's Udemy. They have inexpensive programs as well. And if I subscribe to something called Pluralsight, where it's about, I think, $40 a month, and you learn a plethora of different IT skills as well. So it just depends on your budget, I would say, and what kind of a learner you are.
Okay, man. Okay, that's cool. So in essence, you could probably be almost self-taught and still
Absolutely.
put yourself in position to make 6 figures over 3 to 5 years.
Absolutely. And that still goes back to self-discipline. Like, you can make a goal, but you're going to have to stick with it and, execute it as much as possible. Whatever you learn from whatever class, you have to apply it, rather than it, you losing the skill set once you're done with the class. So absolutely.
Okay. So what's the game plan for the next 3 to 5 years for your company? What are you envisioning the company being, and what direction are you going down for your company over the next 3 to 5 years? And what are you excited about in that regard?
I would say that the game plan is continuing to build the clientele. Is different types of clientele, from small business size or mid business, but also winning government contracts, whether it be like local government or federal government. I'd probably stick in the civil side of the government, rather than the other side, where I may need top secret clearance. I'm never sure what type of project I'm on with those type of things. So I'd prefer to stick on that side. And as far as the nonprofit goes, like we spoke about with STEM, trying to roll that program out, and along with other types of social enterprise programs that impact the community, and just kind of thinking about the group economics type of thing, where partnering with businesses like yours, or partnering with other businesses, where we can kind of all benefit from the ultimate goal of forwarding our community and our culture.
Yeah, we don't do enough of that. We usually looking at each other as competition versus looking at each other as cooperative economics, where we can level the playing field collectively and get more accomplished versus being individuals. So let's make a turn, and let's talk about how you became an investor. and talk about how you became a good steward of your money. And talk to the young ladies out there that, again, I'm in the financial education business, and I sit down with a lot of people, and a lot of times, a lot of them come in here and they got tons of debt. And I'm not just talking about student loan, but they got tons of consumer debt, and they have nothing to show for it. So how did you master that? Because when I met you, you were doing pretty good. We just took you to the next level. So how did you learn to do that? And what are some examples and some guidelines you would give a young Black professional, especially a woman, that they should adhere to that enabled you to be successful and then get you to the next level?
Sure. I was like many of those people where I made a lot of financial mistakes. But I had a mom who also, she would throw little nuggets out there, and I would, remember some of those in retrospect, of course, not in the moment. I'm also of the entrepreneurial mindset. So I was a part of a lot of MLMs, one of them being a financial education program, leadership development as well. And they definitely helped me get out of debt. I learned a lot of things that you don't get taught in school. That like I was in debt, and I learned that I can borrow against my IRA to pay off my debt. Obviously, it's a 10% tax penalty, but if you compare that to the interest rate of a credit card or a loan, it ultimately makes sense for you to borrow against yourself.
It's just math. It's math at the end of the day. But we're taught. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but we're taught that, hey, you can only get debt this way, and you can only get out of it this way. Right. And you know why that is? So they can keep you under their thumb, and you never get free.
Exactly. So that was just priceless information for me. I took that information and I applied it. And once I was debt free, I didn't use credit cards until I met you, and you taught me that you can still have discipline and still use your credit card. But I just I didn't use my credit card, just using straight checking or and just constantly paying myself, but always using my checking account and not borrowing against my savings, just building up that discipline. So by the time
and you didn't go out and buy a lot of lavish stuff and over exceed your house, debt. What I mean, where you live at. That's nothing that I liked about you, that you didn't go out, man. You made the six figures. Oh, I got to get the $500,000 house, or I got to get the $3,500 a month condo because I make this money, and that's the image. So tell me, how did you fight that? Because that's hard for a lot of people not to get tripped up on that. Because here's one thing they do in corporate America, which I didn't like when I got my first real good paying job. The boss was like, hey man, go get this nice car. Go get this big house down the street from me. And I'm like, dude, if I do that and then you don't like me one day and you fire me, and now I got all this debt, and now I'm trapped forever.
Right.
So how did you fight that as a young person? Because that's usually what they lead you on that pathway. Go to school, get the MBA, get the big job, show you got fake success.
Right.
Then you paying for it for the rest of your damn life.
The easiest way for me, like once I got out of debt, that freeing feeling, I didn't want to have the opposite of that again. So that was like the easiest way.
Tell us what that felt like. Because see, again, this is the Financial Expert Series. Yeah. And people we bring on this platform, no matter if they 75, 35, or 21, they have one thing in common. Most of us debt free, most of us six figures, most of us own our own stuff.
Yeah.
And we live in our own best life.
Right. Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
It was a great feeling. Like I owned my car flat out, I at the time I was very much against getting a mortgage, but I'm slowly learning that there's a way to
right. There's a rhyme and a reason.
Yeah, it's a rhyme and a reason. But yeah, I owned my car flat out. I didn't have any student debt, so I could go on vacation and actually save up and not come back and have to save up again. That type of stuff. So it was a great feeling. Like you just get the monkey off your back, because everybody I spoke to, most of my peers that I worked with was like in their 50s and they still was in, debt. So that was just crazy to me. So once I got out of debt, and I just started saving more.
Start getting excited, don't you? You start
Yeah.
seeing the balances go up and up and up.
Exactly, looking at different tax deductions and things of that nature. And then, you know, I stumbled upon you, you know, when I was listening to Urban X, and you were one of the interviewees, and I saw your book that you had back there, the ABCs of Wealth. I bought that. And then I just kept, you know, in contact with you. And I know you said that you would help people with kind of like get into the next level. So I went through the program, and we met, and I feel like the rest is history. Like I just needed that extra, you know, oomph, like as far as like, okay, I'm out of debt, so what do I do now? And I'm young. So you know, that type of stuff. So like you definitely helped me build that mindset of being a investor, learning to use debt for good, because you can still use credit cards in
Right, because now we're using it on the business side.
Right, exactly.
Hey, let me ask you this. Had you ever been in a situation where you had a job, and because you were out of debt and somebody at the job was talking, you know, ish to you, that you was like, I ain't got to do this because I don't have no debt and I can bounce? And that's the biggest problem in corporate America, because that huge debt, student loan and consumer debt, house you really can't afford, they can't say no when somebody's pushing them to do something illegal, immoral, or they just treating them wrong. How did you feel empowered? Because I know you had to have a situation like, because we all have.
Yeah, I did.
Talk to them about that.
Exactly like that, but it was similar. Like when you do government contracting, especially like for small businesses, they try to work you like a horse. So
what I call a Hebrew slave.
Right. and like I said, I was a part of an MLM. So like obviously when you do MLMs, you go to events and things of that nature. So there was an event that I wanted to go to, and there was also a deadline that we were supposed to meet, but they wanted us to work weekends and just
mandatory overtime.
Yeah, something outrageous like that. So I still went to the event. I was just like, I'm not held to anything, especially if I've done what you wanted.
You had your Harriet Tubman moment.
Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And I'm talking to other people on the phone about it, and they're like, aren't you concerned about your debt? No, I'm not concerned at all. You know, eventually I did lose that job. I don't think it was because of that, but I just, every time I do lose a job anyway, I feel like it is a freeing moment. I don't feel like it's, you know, the sky is falling. Everything happens for a reason. So, yeah, like I definitely had that type of a moment where I don't need this job. I didn't say it to them.
Right. But you had to pause.
Right. You don't want to leave one job. You don't have anything to show for it.
You ain't out here living check to check. I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, you talk about your car paid off and Nick's car is paid off. I mean, people crack up. I own a 2002 Toyota Avalon that I bought cash in 2007, that I bought obviously pre-driven. I still have that car today. And the average professional I come in contact with car note and insurance are generally paying almost $1,000 a month.
Wow.
Think about it. Think about this. If they cut out of school and they got a professional job, what kind of car they buying? They're buying a car that's $40,000, $50,000. Even with zero interest over 60 months, that's $500 something a month. Just do the basic math.
Yeah.
And if it's a luxury car, the insurance on it is expensive, especially if you're young.
Absolutely.
So you're looking anywhere between $600 to $1,000 a month for depreciating. It ain't even an asset.
Right.
But I roll up in my Avalon. Oh, dude, you ain't wealthy. Yeah, you're right, dog. I ain't wealthy. I'm putting that 1G every month in the dividend stocks, in the Forex, in investment property, while you got the stress.
Right. And the more I've met wealthy people, they've of that same mindset. Like it's very few that, trying to be flashy or whatever, but most of them, they try to live below their means or within their means, just so that, they can be prepared for any type of pandemic or things of that nature.
Let me tell you what's the most powerful thing is knowing that you can buy it anyway. I don't have to have it, but I know I can buy it. I know I can afford it, and I know I can pay cash for it. So that need to impress you, it goes. And if I really want it, I'll just go rent it for a quick minute.
Mm-hmm.
Get my high and go back to my normal existence.
Or you can buy it through your business or lease it through your business.
Great segue. Talk to us how you are excited about using your business to leverage everything you do in your life and all the extra serendipities that you get from being a business owner. Talk to us about that, because women need to hear, because I'm probably sitting down, 60% of my clients are women.
Right.
And unfortunately, a lot of them are afraid to take that next step into entrepreneurship, even though they did a lot of saving. And what I always share with Renee, I say, you can't save your way to wealth. You got to get some assets, baby. You got to get some real estate. You got to get some dividends. You got to invest in some startup companies. So talk to us about that epiphany you had, and now you're maximizing and getting better and excited about that business entity that you are able to do your personal stuff through legally. Talk to us about that, Renee.
It's like probably one of my favorite quotes is you could write that off your taxes ultimately. Like I tell people, like, if it's
I remember I told you that one time.
Right. Like I love that idea of knowing the things that you can, deduct from your.
Give these ladies some examples. Give them some examples. Give them some concrete examples, because I don't think they don't believe DJ the Money Coach, but they're gonna believe Renee Bishop.
Yeah, I'd say, like, if you're going for, let's say, your certification in whatever field that you're in, if you're trying to go for an advanced certification, you can write the education or whatever you have to pay for to prepare for it off in your taxes.
You can only write 5% of it, right? You can't write it all off, can you, Renee?
Write it all off.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you can write it all off. If you have a home office, you can, tell the accountant the square footage of your workspace, and they could write off a percentage.
Wait. You telling me I can buy a crib and I can write some of that off?
Yeah. You can even buy a house in the business name. I'm still learning the ins and outs of that, but also do that. And like I said,
because you about to be a homeowner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. Hey, if you don't mind, can we share this little thing with you? Because you about to buy this home. If you don't mind us to talk a little bit about, you about to buy this home that kind of was, you could afford it.
Right.
But in retrospect, when you talk to me, we kind of figured out that wasn't gonna be the right move. Can we talk a little bit about that? Because we still fall into those traps.
Yeah,
like you were wise enough to pick up the phone and after the fact, you wanted me to say, "Oh yeah, Renee, go ahead, go and do that." Can we talk a little bit about that in your mind?
Yeah, I needed some type of a devil's advocate, someone who would like look outside of the box. So I'm like, this looks ideal, like the monthly.
And it was nice,
that type of stuff. But like you asked the right questions, like the closing costs, the understanding the PMI, all those different nuances.
How they were adding more to the price of the property, and it was less when it was on the market. And I was like, Renee, did you get a little emotional about that transaction? Because it's a brand new house.
Yeah.
I said, Renee, how much did the house cost, and how long was it on the market before they got you excited about it?
Doing the comparative analysis, like how much the other properties around it cost within the last 30 days and things of that nature.
They tried to run game on you, didn't
they? Yeah, that was gold that you gave me. And it just is. I know it's helped preparing me to be a better real estate investor. Like once I get the house, I want to switch back gears on being a real estate investor, getting my real estate agent license and things of that.
Oh man,
so, help me in that. And also, like, I'll never forget you said fall in love with the deal, not the house. So I have to keep telling myself that, because I'll look
it's
at
hard.
Like,
it's hard.
Gosh,
it's hard. Trust me, I fall prey to it too, because we're all human. Because when you're excited about something, you want it. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't even think about the price because I got to have that excitement. But and this is what I call you in the ether.
Right.
That's the dangerous zone to be when you're super excited, the adrenaline is flowing, and you're like, oh man, I can taste, I can feel, I know, oh man, this is me. And that salesperson knows that.
Yep.
Because that's their skill.
Yeah.
And they put you to sleep and you don't even realize it.
Right.
And they say, hey, Renee, just go and give us a little down payment. No big deal, because somebody else might want this. And you're excited about the house, where it is, it's looking good. You envision a family there, you earned it. And then all common sense goes out the window.
Yeah. Yep.
And let me give you an example of what I did. I did this before. In 2007, we wanted new furniture. Because my house, and this is what I'm proud of, and this is what I want to teach everybody, here's the learning moment. Every house I bought over the last 15 years, I paid cash for everything in it.
Nice.
Everything. Furniture, TV, beds, everything. Because you know what? Because I don't want to have that moment when the pandemic hits and I got to worry about these bills for these beautiful looking depreciating products in my house.
Right.
But I'm human too. So last time we bought a whole bunch of new furniture, you know, the upgrades, I went to this place, got a great deal, and I was like, damn, this is like $20,000. But I'm feeling good about it. But I also knew I don't own it until they drop it to my house. So I put a down payment and I got home and I just started thinking, damn, what can I do with this 20 stacks? And I ain't really attached to all that excitement because it wasn't really me. It was mom and the kids. Right. I wanted a couple of new things. And I sure enough, 3 days later, they were coming to deliver. I was like, I'm not taking delivery. Oh, yeah. I said, well, what the law is, until I actually take possession, I don't own it. I told them cancel my order. They tried to keep my money like they just said, oh, we going. I said, oh, no, okay. You see that little fine print? I got this pit bull attorney named Lisa Shebar. Why don't you talk to her and tell her that I'm not getting back every dime of my 20 G's.
Right.
And I got it all back. And then I turned right back around the next week and I got the same stuff for about 12 grand.
Wow. Wow.
But that moment,
yeah,
they had me. Because once you start buying one thing, this is a scientific formula. People don't realize that we're conditioned as consumers. You start easily buying everything. The hardest thing for a salesperson is to sell you the big ticket item. But they know once they get you over all your no's, now you go in the reverse. Where you yes, and now you burnt all your cash.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's crazy. Yep.
So I too have an advisor that tells me, hey, dude, and when you do deserve it, get everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying live frugally and just don't enjoy life. That's the complete opposite. Right. I'm saying make sure that them assets that you're buying, understand they're not really assets when it comes to living them, and make sure you're getting something else to pay for that simultaneously.
We'll be right back with the DJTMC Financial Expert Series after this message. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Nisha. I'm an entrepreneur dealing mostly in e-commerce. I recently launched an Amazon coaching service. Was looking to scale my business and get some help with financial planning, and I came across DJ the Money Coach and his services. I have been lucky enough to work with him and his team for the last month and a half, and I've signed on for a longer membership. DJ and his team are highly accessible, very friendly. They are encouraging and eager to walk you through the steps to what they call the pom-pom lifestyle.
We're gonna wrap this up. So what are you excited about with your home ownership about to happen soon? And what are you excited about in your business? And what are you excited about with your new beautiful twins and your 4 children? What is Renee excited about that she want to share, that what you have accomplished is special for you, but it ain't special in the sense that nobody else can't do it.
Right.
Especially at a young age. Talk to us.
I'm very excited about having the opportunity to have my own business and being able to also build it with my partner David. Like, he's a developer, I'm a project manager. It's the best of both worlds, and and, you know, us raising our kids, we can teach them, you know, programming. We can have what I always call the magic school bus type education, where I could drive them around and, you know, show them different things and kind of have a homeschool kind of a lifestyle, because the pandemic already is the catalyst for all of that stuff.
That's all my kids know.
Right.
That's all they know.
Yeah, and like with the STEM program, that you will be able to you know, assist in bridging that digital divide, which is definitely prevalent in the inner cities. And then with the pandemic, it will probably be an online platform, so we'll be able to reach so many other inner city kids, rather than just focus on the nearby inner city that I might be living by. So I'm excited about all the endless opportunities and in terms of using my skills and giving back and things of that nature, getting into investing and being around my peers, or being around people that can sharpen me, iron sharpening iron. It's just, I feel like the opportunities are endless with all of this going on.
Man, I'm excited. You know what? And I just had an epiphany. I want you to be able to come on the platform at least once a month, if not, if it's possible, you know, 30 minutes a week, and just talk about technology. Would you be willing to do that for us as part of the partner on 7 Spheres of Money? Because I think people need to hear about this stuff. You need to talk about what it is your industry is doing and involved in all the time, so we can give our people access to this on a regular basis. Would that be something you would consider for us?
Sure.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we always end our financial, you know, expert series the same way. Nick gives us a summary, because he's an English teacher, of what he learned and what he's excited about. Then we're gonna get out of here, because we got a lot of more fish to fry.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You know, you mentioned that I'm an educator, and that's one of the things I want to zone in on, you know, in these final comments. But first, one thing that really stood out to me from your story is how this constant theme of self-discipline and self-motivation. You know, being a Black woman, you know, only three graduates in your program, and you managed to stay motivated and, you know, endure to the end. I think some of my psychologist friends, they call it imposter syndrome, you know, in which you feel like you don't, you know, or not that you don't feel like you don't belong, but you question your abilities and whether you belong in that space, when in fact you're dominating that space. And you know, you found your support system and you stay motivated to push through and achieve everything that you have achieved. And so I just mentioned that I wanted to zone in on that education piece a little bit. And, you know, I'm glad that you mentioned the problem-based learning. This is something that has come up in my teacher education programs. You know, problem-based learning, we also call it project-based learning, in which, you know, the students are doing something hands-on. They're actually creating something, but in the process, they're solving a problem. But unfortunately, this is the exception to the education system rather than the norm. I actually work with a program. It's an international program called Big Picture Learning, in which the students actually attend internships at least once a week, and they're getting real world hands-on experience and access, you know, in the field. So IT might be, you know, one of those internships as an example. So they're getting this hands-on experience, they're getting the access, they're getting the mentorship because they're working under a supervisor. And after they get that hands-on experience, they present what they learn in the form of a project. And there's also a problem involved with that as well. They start with a problem or a question that they research or they're approaching, and at the end of the semester or the school year, they present what they learned at that internship in the form of a project. And this is where it kind of goes into that interdisciplinary piece that you were mentioning with creative writing combined with STEM. So that the students, they're required to show how their internship or their project connects to each of those disciplines or subjects that they're learning in school. So there's a math perspective, there's a science perspective, there's a historical, and then there's an English perspective. So for example, the English perspective, they might have to write a paper, presenting their findings. Math, they might, if there was research involved, they might generate a graph or a chart. Science, it might be a science related field in which there's some type of science perspective or science concern or scientific implication, or health. Health is related to science, so it might be a health related implication. So they're going through each of these subject matters, and they're showing how what they're learning at the internship relates to each of these subject matters, and that's how you make education relevant, like these subjects relevant. But like I said, unfortunately, this is the exception to the education system and not the norm. So, you need to be a case study for the education system, the K through 12 education system, and show the world that this needs to start at the lower level and not, at the college level.
Exactly.
And we see this with the Big Picture Learning Program. This is a high school program, but this is something that can be started at the elementary level and the junior high or middle school level, all the way through the college level. So I just wanted to zone in that, from the perspective of an educator. You talked about so many things, but those were the main things that stood out to me in this conversation. So I look forward to the future conversations that we're going to have. All of the technology information you're going to bring to the platform and inform our viewership on. So I look forward to it, and thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to leave with two quick things. The young people, they always want to know the sexy stuff. So share with them a couple of projects that would be appealing to them, that bling that you and your partner have, worked on. That young people always, they got to see the shiny stuff. So tell us a couple of projects. I mean, because you did a phenomenal job on our website, but I'm nobody. But talk to them about some stuff that they will be excited about. That's the reason why they should be rolling in this industry.
I'd say my partner David, he's the developer. He's worked on, I'm not sure if people are familiar with the web series. It's called Money and Violence. He did the website for that.
Oh, wow.
And I think Jay-Z eventually picked it up with I think it was Tidal or something to that effect. We're currently working with he's like a kind of like a Renaissance guy. He's like a director, photographer. He has his own series on Amazon, and he's working with Muhammad Ali's one of his daughters on certain things. So we're helping him with his website, and eventually we'll join his team to kind of be his IT team. So I feel like with IT, you kind of start working with people who's of the mindset of having their own business. So obviously at the time it may not be sexy or it sounds sexy, because it's still in that incubator period where it still needs to mature and grow, and that's always my favorite time, because you're just thinking of the possibilities rather than being a part of a Google it's already had its swan song.
Right.
It's fun, but it's nice to be in that journey. So that's one of the things. One of our potential clients, hoping that he can be our client, is he's creating a CBD business. There's also a person who they want an online car dealership site, as well as some other sites. So when it comes to like small business owners, it's usually taking their vision and try to conceptualize it and bring it to fruition. Whereas when you're working with a bigger company, it's still sexy to me, because you might be learning a new skill set. Like I'm working currently, it's not through my business, but I know I can apply it to my business. My current job, where I learned a new skill set of cybersecurity, which wasn't my forte, but now I can add that to my to my tool set. So you just have to take each experience and kind of look at the big picture, because you never know when you're going to need to apply those things.
And being a problem solver, I mean, you actually went in and saved the day for Eric and his partner. And talk just quick minute about that, and then give us your contact information where we can get in contact with you. Because like you said, it's about problem solver, project, management, and that happens every day.
Right. So like DJ mentioned, Eric and Damon, they're two great guys. They have this business that's kind of geared toward capturing important moments and kind of having like a time capsule, digital time capsule, where you leave it behind for your loved ones. There's obviously, let's say if my grandmother left something behind and it was digital and I never met her, I feel like that's a great thing that you can cherish and, pass it along to your kids and your kids, rather than them just looking at a photo and not really, being enamored by.
And they thought they were working with somebody that was skilled before they met you.
Yeah. I mean, thanks to my partner David, I can't take all the credit. He was able to figure things out, and he's definitely creating a great product for them.
Oh man, that is exciting. So what's your contact information? How we can get in contact with you, and then we're going again, thank you for your awesome time. This has been the best interview that we've had, definitely from a woman's perspective, because I even learned a lot more about you that I didn't even know, and I've been knowing you for a while, and we talk often.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're both of that same mindset of like, get her done. So we don't always talk the pleasantries. But my contact information is renee.bishop@defyscitech.com. Still working on the social media presence. So that's more to come with that.
Oh man, that's awesome. If you can get that one more time, can you spell the DEFY SciTech? Because some people can't spell, because I'm not that great of a speller.
Sure. So renee.bishop@DEFY DEFY SciTech TECH.com.
And Nick is gonna put that in the description, and we're gonna have you come back and do your own series on our platform. And I'm more excited about that. We're gonna have kids watching you, because yesterday Nick and I spoke for an organization called BET Talks in Philly, and it was a whole bunch of young kids. I mean, those are the most important people to reach. I think we're like ages like 12 to like 21, and we spent a couple of hours with them, and I was like, wow, man, it just made my weekend. And I think you're gonna have the same impact on other children. Obviously, you're gonna have that impact on your 4 beautiful children you have. So I'm honored. Privileged, Renee, that number one, you're a part of our team, and number two, that you are showing people, like Nick said, this ain't the exception, this is the norm. That strong, Black, successful young women are out here getting it done and creating legacies for our people. So I want to thank you for that. And on behalf of Nick, our moderator, I'm DJ the Money Coach, and like always, we end all our shows the same way. We wish you a pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind. And we want you to come join us on the beaches of the World Club. Yours may not have to be an ocean, but whatever you find your freedom and your peace. That's the pom-pom lifestyle. Thanks a lot, Renee. And we'll see you next time. Take it easy. Hi, I'm DJ the Money Coach. Don't touch that dial. You want to become financially independent? You want to have consumer debt freedom? You want to have passive income, learn how to build a business, acquire real estate, and achieve the lifestyle you deserve in 2021? Well, hit that link below right now. We've worked with over 20,000 people in the past 2 decades, helping them become consumer debt free, increase their credit scores by 30 to 60 points in 30 days or less, and help them acquire businesses through real estate, taxes, and a network of experts just like me. So you'll get a complete 3-hour, 18-module course called Family Finance 101 that'll teach you A to Z how to become consumer debt free, credit worthy, and it put you in position to become a certified entrepreneur. We'll also give you a complimentary consultation with me that's a $500 value. Why would you want to do that? Because I have already achieved that, and I can help you achieve your American dream in 2021. Hit the link below, get the free webinar and the complimentary consultation, and I'll see you soon and wish you a pom-pom lifestyle that's plenty of money and peace of mind. Come join us.